Hope you all are fine. Today we are going to discuss the activities of the lesson, the Hour of Truth. Already we have read this play and now we are familiar with all these events. Now let us move to the first activity. Here, think and write session. As we all know, these types of questions will be there in all of our lessons. As such, here we have 5 questions. Now you have to answer these questions. Write all the answers in your English notebook. Okay? So, what is this first item? Take your textbook, page number 65. First item. Why was Mr. Gresham arrested? Right. Okay, you all know the situation which led to Gresham's arrest. Now, here I am giving you a sample answer. You read it and try to write it in your English notebook. Okay. Mr. Gresham was the president of a national bank. He was arrested for the charge of misappropriating bank's money, which caused great loss to the depositors. Okay. Now, second, why didn't Baldwin explain his position to the papers? Why didn't Baldwin explain his position to the papers? Okay, now you all read this sample answer. Mr. Baldwin didn't think it is necessary to explain to the papers. The trial of the case was supposed to begin the very next day, and he believed he could defend himself. Right. Then third one, what was the change in the attitude of the members of the family when they came to know the amount of the bribe? When his family members came to know about the amount of the bribe, there was a sudden change in their attitudes. They felt tempted to have this large amount of $100,000. They tried forcing Mr. Baldwin to say, "I don't remember," in the court. Next, how did Baldwin react to the opinion of his family? How did Baldwin react to the opinion of his family? Baldwin was shocked and grieved at the change in attitude of his family. He understood how money has influenced their minds. Out of pain, he called them shams, liars, hypocrites, and thieves. Now, last one. Was Baldwin disloyal to Mr. Gresham? Quote the relevant sentences to support your answer. Was Baldwin disloyal to Mr. Gresham? Quote the relevant sentences to support your answer. No, Baldwin was not disloyal to Mr. Gresham. He wanted to live by the principles of his life. He wanted to tie himself hard to the virtue of honesty. Now, the relevant sentence. But he knew that no amount of money would make you do something you thought wrong. Baldwin, he paid you. Okay, now here given a type of analysis. What actually you have to do? Pick out the striking dialogues in the play as the sample given below and try to deliver them in front of the whole class. Write down the implied meaning of the dialogues in the column. So, you are asked to choose any of the striking dialogues. Okay, and you have to show whose dialogue it is in the other column And also, what does it mean by that words? A type of explanation, a short brief explanation is to be given. So such a way you have to complete this work. Model is given here. So as this model you can write this answer. So draw a column in your English notebook and fill this at least here given 7 columns. So 7 dialogues from the whole play you have to take and complete the details required. Okay, so I think this is very easy for you, because after you read it you can easily follow, you can find out striking dialogues of the characters. Okay, whoever it may be. Okay, you have to take any of the characters dialogue and write it here, just to give its meaning also. All of my past would rise up and strike me in the face. Baldwin's words. Okay, then he explains his mental agony to his family while they persuade him to say on behalf of Gresham for the money. He says that if at all he lies, it would be against his moral principles. Now, activity second. Here it is for write-up. Just you are asked to prepare a write-up on the opening part of the play, and also how is the end of the play. So opening of the play, Hour of Truth, as one title, and you have to write a paragraph about it. Then hints are given here, right? Just you read these hints given here. Then after you got these hints, develop these hints into a readable paragraph and complete this paragraph in your English notebook. In the same way, write a paragraph about the end of the play, concluding part of the play. There also, here you see hints, and it will help you to develop your sentences. Opening. The play The Hour of Truth opens on a hot Sunday afternoon. We find the family of a banker on stage. They speak about the possibility to rain that very day. Mr. Baldwin's family is in a confused state of mind. His children, Evie and John, are worried at the newspaper reports which suspect indirect involvement of Baldwin along with Mr. Gresham in the bank scam. His wife, Martha, tries to defend her husband and reveals her lack of knowledge in Baldwin's business affairs. Now, closing. Baldwin is literally shocked at the greed of his family towards money. He accuses that their morality and dishonesty were just skin deep. He strictly sticks on to his principles. As a proof to the saying, virtue will be rewarded, we suddenly have Marshall on the stage. He, as the president of Third National Bank, had gone to jail to meet Mr. Gresham. He reveals that Gresham was touched by Baldwin's honesty and he has decided to confess and testify against himself. Marshall was impressed by Baldwin's honesty, and the play ends with Marshall offering Baldwin a job in the Third National Bank. Okay, now this activity is also over. Now let's go to third activity. Activity third is character sketch. Right. Here you are asked to prepare a character sketch of the protagonist of the play. Right. Baldwin, Robert Baldwin. Right. What quality of Baldwin is evident here? Sketch the character of Robert Baldwin. Now, I think this is very important, as we all know. In every lesson there will be central characters. Right. Stories or plays, there will be central characters. So in this Hour of Truth, in this play, the central character is Robert Baldwin. So you all should have a number of points to develop a type of character sketch. So I think you just read. I am giving here a sample answer. Just you read it and you can write your own way in your English notebook about Robert Baldwin, a character sketch. Okay, so just you listen. Mr. Robert Baldwin worked as the secretary in the National Bank. He was an honest, diligent, and hard-working employee of Mr. John Gresham. He is a man of principles. He has been working in the bank for more than 35 years for trivial remuneration. He can also be called a family man. He has strong love towards his family. A man in his middle ages, he has never waved off his virtues ever in his life. He is kind and loyal to others. His personality is deep rooted in a set of principles. He never wavers or compromises with his morality. Even when he encounters chances of being a fabulously rich person, he denies it. He works for truth and lives by it. Now, activity 4, group discussion. You all know here we want to express our own views. So, as we are presenting a speech, we have to prepare a paragraph. Okay, so that is what actually we have to do here for this item. So, topic is here what actually the topic, conduct a group discussion. Corruption curtails the development of a country. That is the topic. Corruption curtails. The word curtails means restricts, right? Blocks, or it stops. So corruption curtails the development of a country. So if you want to express, if you want to talk about this topic in a group, you have to address the group first. We already have studied some of the expressions to be used in the beginning of a speech like this. Okay, I think better you just use any of these given expressions. For example, it gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this group discussion, and I would like to talk my views on the topic, corruption curtails the development of a country. Okay, so any such beginnings, okay, you can have. So whatever it may be, you have to make it impressive. Okay, so that only we want to do. Now, once you start speaking about this topic, here you are given some points that will help you. To make your views. Right. So here some titles you can read. See what according to you are the reasons for corruption. Here some reasons given. You just read all these reasons. Then you also have to complement some other reasons. That is why here given 2 blanks. So you can just have your own views, your own reasons. Okay, from your understanding. You also might have observed the situations that we see in our world or in our society. Okay, so try to supplement, try to add some of the reasons here. Okay, so for your sake, actually, I am giving as a sample answer. In my opinion, there are several reasons for a man to become corrupt. The first and foremost reason may be greed and dishonesty. Extreme poverty can also be another reason for a man to be corrupt. In the absence of a strong legal system, corruption may increase. Corruption often results from failure of legal code. These are some reasons for corruption. Now, what are the effects of corruption? Corruption has many bad effects. It curtails the growth of a country. It creates inefficiency in all sectors. Corruption often leads to exploitation of resources, and this will in turn pave way to weakened development. One of the tragic causes of corruption is an increase in crime. This will hamper the entire democratic system. corruption will eventually lead to inequality. The gap between haves and have-nots will increase tremendously. Next, how can we discourage corruption? It has become the need of the hour to resist corruption. For this, strict rules have to be implemented. Corruption should be nipped right from the bud. Students should be taught morality right from the childhood. As I observe, immense power rests with politicians. Setting limit to politicians will reduce corruption. Along with this, inspectors, administrators, and other government employees should never be allowed to make a decision without the agreement of a second person. Above all, it is our duty to understand that it is easier to change ourselves than others. Try to read, and you can have this also in your notebook. So just you try to complete it. So anyway, you have to complete these questions so that you will have enough points to discuss or to present in this group discussion. So keeping all these points in your memory, you prepare a speech to be presented in this group discussion. Okay, so group discussion is a familiar word, so try to complete this work in your English notebook. Then we can go to the other activity, activity 5. It is comparing. What actually this comparing means? Comparing is introductory speech. Comparing, right? So just you imagine any situation. Suppose you are going to perform, okay, a drama before a group of people, or as a part of our school anniversary programs or school youth festival. Anyway, any type of program can be conducted. So before we start our performance, we would like to give a type of introduction to the audience. So that introduction, that is called comparing. Okay, so let us see what actually the question given here. Think that you are selected to introduce the actors of the play The Hour of Truth to the audience. Prepare a script. So here it is very simple, because you are asked to introduce about the actors of this play The Hour of Truth. So we already studied who are the characters included in this play The Hour of Truth. So just speak about them, all these characters. Okay, so there is one character in this play who is not coming to the stage, that we all discuss. We all know that that character. Who is that character? So try to have a brief description about them. Right, so addressing the audience, there should have in the beginning the words ladies and gentlemen, or my dear friends. Such a way you have to introduce. Okay, after using introductory sentences, try to describe about these characters. That is enough. So it is an introductory speech, that is comparing. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to introduce before you the famous play by the renowned writer of one-act plays Percival Wilde, The Hour of Truth. The Hour of Truth is indeed an intense psychological study of the corrupting influence of money on people. The playwright reveals instances of greed from a myriad of different points of view. All individuals are tempted by greed at one point or another in life. This particular story shows how easily people forget their morals and upbringings when money is close by. The story centers on Mr. Baldwin and his family. Mr. Baldwin has to choose between being honest and being dishonest, and the climax that follows has an excellent message. Now come watch and enjoy the spectacle, The Hour of Truth by Percival Wilde. Now, activity 6th. It is only for you to read and understand this topic. Here given a type of terminology is introduced. Reader's theatre. What is reader's theatre? See, we all know these types of dramas or plays are written for the purpose of presenting on the stage. Okay, it is to be performed on the stage. Once we want to perform these types of plays on the stage, we require number of things. Okay, we want to have settings. Then we have to arrange all these types of situations, characters, casting, then also cosmetics, etc. So number of things required for performing a play on the stage. See, that is not easy for some time. Okay, we cannot easily arrange all these things, but readers theatre is for the sake of our English classroom. If you want to enjoy the play or drama while reading, you can have this type of technique, readers theatre. So what is this? Let us read. It is given in your textbook. Readers theatre is a vocal rendering of the script of a play. There are no stage settings, costumes or actions involved in it. Instead, the script of the play is read out with the proper voice modulation. Readers theatre is used in a language classroom to improve listening and reading skills. So, in short, you are reading the play with all types of expressions and emotions, right? So, there will be a number of expressions that is given when we read a play or a dialogue. In bracket, there are given some expressions or some clue words, hint words, right? So sometimes the character is speaking with anger or indignation, the word given in our play. So there you have to read that dialogue with that expression. Okay, how does a particular character speak in that way? So that way you have to. Then sometimes in a joyful or pleasant mood, that expression you have to show, and that way you have to raise your voice. Okay, that is what actually voice modulation. So changing your voice with respect to the situations. That way, suppose you are reading all the characters' dialogue, it will be interesting for others to listen. So this is called readers theatre. So that way we have to practice. It is quite interesting. So try to read your play in this way. Okay, it can be used for, as mentioned in your textbook, for improvement of our language. Okay, so just for your understanding, you read it. There is no need to write anything about it in your notebook. Activity 7. Activity 7 onwards, we have grammar item. Right. So first, here a tense. Here given some situations for you to practice tense. This item is not a new one for you, because we have got these types of items in our previous classrooms. So tense is not a new item. We have different types of tenses: present, past, future. So here a situation, a paragraph, you can see some sentences in different sections. So here you have to complete using the correct form of the verb given in the bracket. So read, and first of all I want to tell you that if you want to fill these blanks using the correct form of the verb, you have to read the entire passage first, so that you will be having a type of picture, an idea of what way these types of situations are presented. So it will be easier for you to supply the verb. Okay, so that is good. So try to read the entire passage and find out, imagine which situation, which is the time of the situation. So it will be very easy, so that you can answer these types of questions in your examination also. So first, here given a situation, fill in the blanks choosing the right option from the brackets. Thomas Edison, then there is dash, bracket, in bracket 2 words, started or starting, work on the railway when he was 12, selling newspapers and snacks. So when you read the first sentence, you have to, first of all, you have to understand when actually the events are happening. You have to find out it first. So we all know when he was 12. When he was 12, that shows it is related to past time. So Thomas Edison, which is to be used here, Thomas Edison started or starting. I think you have got answer in your mind. So started is the right form. Okay, so we have to use past verb here, started. That way you have to complete all the sentences. Try to supply the suitable words given here. The same way, here we have B, fill in the blanks using the correct tense forms of the verbs given in bracket. So first sentence beginning, Shager. There is dash in bracket B. Now with the Xanadu, a government publication. So here B, you all know, we use B forms. So depending upon the context, we have to find it out. So here Shager, B means B forms. You have to take the suitable B forms. We already studied B forms, which are B forms, these auxiliaries, am or is, right? Then are, then it's was and were. Any of these suitable auxiliaries you have to supply here. So here, which is suitable one? Shager, now. Now you all know present verb. So here present form of the auxiliaries, am, is or are. Then am is not suitable because it is subject is Shager. Then is suitable. So we take is. Right, so Shager is now with the Xanadu, a government publication. Now next you read, he dash in bracket joined it a year ago. So ago, that shows past. So how to change the word join? The same way you have to supply and the rest of the sentences. Okay, so after you read and completed, if you have any doubts regarding, we will discuss it later. You can ask me. So try to complete all these activities in your English notebook. Okay, now other item given here is report speech. In the last year we have studied this grammar item also. So just for you to memorize main points, here given some important points. Try to read what are the changes. We all know while reporting there are some changes. So which are these changes? Here given am, is, are will be changed as was or were. Then do, does. That means present changes to past, right? Past changes to past perfect, or we can use as past, right? So try to read these points given in your textbook and refresh your memory, because we have studied this item in our first year classroom. Okay, then some of the examples given here in your textbook, just to read it and try to keep all the points given here. Okay, then report the following. There is a work given here. There you have to change this sentences into report speech. You aren't worried, are you? Tony asked. So when you want to report anything, we all know, we first of all we have to find out which type of sentence is given here. We have already we have studied there are 4 types of sentences in English depending upon meaning. Okay, so when we want to report there, we have to take these divisions, 4 divisions depending upon meaning. Which are these 4 divisions? Simply we can say statement, right? Then interrogative, then imperative, and exclamatory. So which type of sentences are given here? That we have to get first. The same way, all these different types of sentences we are reporting differently. So all these points we already studied. Suppose if you have your English notebook, first one's English notebook, I think that will be there in your notebook. Just to read and get all these points and try to answer this question in your English notebook. Report the following. Okay, then complete the following passage. That is, again, you have to complete this passage using this grammar item, reported speech. So try to complete it. Okay. Then next we have passive form. So passive voice you all know. We while using passive voice, actions are given importance. Okay, not doer. Right? So we communicate. We want to stress actions than the doer. So such usage is passive form. So here given some of the sentences that you read. All these very easy for you. You can read very simply and try to understand all these things. Then complete the following passage. So it is you have to complete this passage using passive form. So when you start writing, or when you want to use passive voice in a sentence, mainly 4 formulas, formats. B plus V3 format. B plus V3 format in the sense that B forms. So subject plus B plus, B forms plus V3 format. Then subject plus B forms plus being plus V3 format. Such a way it goes. Okay, there are 4 divisions. So try to start your passive form with the subject, then B forms. Right. So B forms are used when the given sentence is in present or past. Clear? Then also present continuous or past continuous. There we have to use B forms plus V3 form. In continuous we have to use continuous or progressive sentence. We have to use after B forms being. Okay, so that way you have to change. Okay, then if the given sentence contains have or has or had, after this have or has or had, any of these auxiliaries we take, and after that been, B-double-E-N, been plus V3 form is used. That is the format. Then the last one is modal auxiliaries. If any sentence with the modal auxiliaries, we all know which are the modal auxiliaries. For example, will or would, shall or should, etc. These are the modal auxiliaries. So if any sentence with a modal auxiliary, we have to use this way. Modal auxiliary is the given modal auxiliary verbs plus be, not being or being. Be, the verb be is used, will be written, for example, the same way. So these are the different formats of passive voice. So while reading your passage, which one is suitable here, try to use that way and complete the passage. Okay, before that you have to read the sentences given here in your textbook. So this is passive form. Here given another work also for you to complete passive voice. Newspaper report is given here, and you have to change this given report in the passive form. Okay, so just for you to practice, try to complete it. The last item is editing. So editing, you all know, every question paper we have these types of items, editing. So try to read the given passage. Usually when you get a passage for editing, there will be these types of mistakes. Concord mistake, that is subject verb agreement. Okay, verb and subject are not agreed. So such mistakes we can see. Then that is subject, if subject is singular, verb will not be singular. Right, so we all stated that the subject and verb should be agreed upon. That is, singular verb should have singular subject, or plural subject should have plural verb. So that is subject verb agreement or concord. Then there will be, as we discussed, passive form mistakes. Okay, while using passive type of sentence, there will not be this format clearly used. So such mistakes we see. Then spelling mistake also. Right. Then punctuations, capital letter, such mistakes will be there. Okay, so try to locate first. If you want to correctly, if you want to use all these sentences in the correct way, try to find out or try to locate which actually is the error. So try to read first and find out, then you can complete it. Okay, so I think first of all you read the passage given and try to locate the area of mistake, then give the correct form. Okay, with this we completed all the activities of this lesson. Complete all these activities in your English notebook. Okay, now that's all for you. Thank you.